Hello, everybody. How's it going? We're gonna get started soon. Let's see. Let me bring up the chat.
Chat.
We are 56 subscribers away from 50,000.
Wow.
Wow is right.
Ring that bell. Press the subscribe button. Get us halfway to our play button.
Yeah, give me that play button. Okay. Let's see here.
Make a side bottomer. That's how that works.
Can they give us half a play button?
Yeah, I think so. Okay. There's that.
No, how was it? How did Gersman call you? Milkody or something like that?
Mickey.
Call me Mickey
McNulty.
Yeah, then I'll turn to Mickey Manicotti, which I think I like more.
I mean, it's an incredible name.
Mickey McNulty. I cracked so hard when I heard that. That's so funny.
That's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, it was funny.
Okay, there's that.
Mark 'em on notes. That's your Irish counterpart.
Excuse me.
It's a different minority.
Hey, you guys hear me?
You hear that?
Start cheering now.
I do.
Yeah.
All right. Let me see here. Okay. I'm ready.
Give me a second. Ready.
Okay. Mike, I'm gonna count you in, all right?
Yep.
In 5, 4, 3.
Hey, you guys hear me? Start cheering now. Yeah, let's get this over with. Yeah.
Woof woof. Hi, I'm Mike Minotti, and I'm a Nintendog.
Hi, I'm Jeff Grubb, and I'm friends with Mickey Manicotti.
And we are the last of the Nintendogs.
Rough.
Today, hey, we have Switch 2s. We played those. Let's talk about
I have two Switch 2s.
There's a Splatoon. I do too, actually. There's a Splatoon spin-off game. And Call of Duty is not on Switch 2 yet. Despite their promises in a court of law.
They lied?
No. Maybe. Anyways, hi, Jeff. Good to see you. We can spend a lot of time with each other in the Warframe.
We were spending a lot of
Villa.
time together, and yet I also, in some ways, felt like I barely saw you because, like, we were so busy doing stuff. Yeah.
You like almost never left the Warframe Villa until that day we went to Play Days. You were just there the entire time.
There was a lot to get done at the Warframe Villa. Absolutely.
It sure was. I'll tell you what. I'm tired. There's a lot of work to do. Let me say this right now, Mr. Jeff Keighley and everybody. Summer Game Fest and Summer Game Fest Play Days especially is a work event. Everybody is there working.
Yes.
We do not need to hold that over the weekend.
Yeah.
We could do this during weekdays so that we all don't have to go home on Monday or Tuesday and then have an entire work week ahead of us.
What the fuck's the deal with this? Why? Like, E3 was during the week. Like, what? Why do this?
I do not know. But I would, it's not just like, well, I'll just take those days off during the week. I can't, because now I'm busy writing stories and making video coverage for everything that happened at Summer Game Fest.
And then, like, we gotta do like a Switch 2 stream. Like, we are overdue. Like, I'm like thinking we gotta do that tomorrow.
Oh, we're way behind.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a big problem. And some of us are working 2 full-time jobs right now. And it's becoming a little bit stressful. So it's just, those weekends are very precious at the moment. It's just kind of having them yanked away. It's just a little bit concerning. So, but hey.
Jeff Keighley hates games journalists. Sorry, I didn't mean to go all Kanye on you.
He hates me.
He hates Mickey McNulty.
That's okay. We'll make this right. I know it. How are you doing though, Jeff? You got back
better in some ways, worse in others. I was dealing with the cough all weekend after actually it started earlier in the week last week, and it just wouldn't go away. I was trying to suppress it when I was on stream and stuff like that, and yet couldn't do that the entire time. And it's gotten a little bit worse as I got home. So that's annoying. But it also makes me think okay, there actually is something. It's not just a weird forever cough that now I've got. And then in other ways, I'm more well rested after getting some sleep last night. That was nice. And then in other ways, it's oh, okay, now here is a plate full of shit we got to get done for this business that we bought. And then now we there's no more excuses. We have to deal with that. So had another lawyer call today, and we'll have another one tomorrow morning. It's a lot, but we're getting it figured out. Want to just kind of get things down on paper so that we can have this thing the way we said we would have it.
I'm excited to get that stuff kind of figured. I mean, obviously we had to kind of prioritize Summer Game Fest because that just had that strange timing. But yeah, let's get the business figured out. Let's get Switch 2 coverage figured out. I got to put on a purple hat and a blonde wig again tomorrow. Let's get Blade Club back going. All sorts of fun stuff. But hey, thank you to everybody who was watching all of that Giant Bomb content over the weekend. Jeff killed it with the couch. Again,
thanks. You are a huge help. I know you had were worried you wouldn't have much to do, and you never stopped moving. So just really great work.
It's a lot of work. Just keeping the fridge stocked, ordering the pizza, making sure everybody's happy and knows when they're going.
Getting people on the couch. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it's a lot of moving parts, and between the five of us, and then with some help from Nikki and Chuck, things kind of found their way to working and getting everyone on there. It was a great time. I had a really good time.
Everyone came together. Everyone was happy to be there, just like we're happy to be here at Last Nintendogs. So thank you so much, everybody, for watching. If you want to support us, you can go to patreon.com/GameS to get all sorts of bonus goodies. You can also send super chats during the show. I see a bunch of come in. We will read all of those. But why don't we just get to it, Jeff? Because, this is our first show in a post-Switch 2 launch world. If you can believe it, even though we were traveling, I got to spend a good amount of time with my Switch 2, right? Just at the Warframe Village. We keep calling it that, giving them free advertising now. Wow.
They earned it.
Got the check, Reb. So that, the airport, airplane, all that kind of stuff. But then even just at home now, at night, lots of time with Mario Kart World, a little bit more time with everything else. Been playing some GameCube games, mostly Soul Calibur 2. How are you feeling about this new console, Jeff?
I like it a lot. I am very happy to have it. It's just nice to have because I've been looking forward to it for so long, and it in all the ways that matter, it feels like a significant upgrade. It's a more premium feeling device to hold. It has better speakers. It has a better display than the original Switch, and in a comparable display to the OLED. It's not as good as the OLED, but it's pretty close, or close enough for an LCD.
It's close enough for me. I'm sure if I saw an OLED next to it, I'd be like, that's better. But
yeah, you would.
I can't. Yeah,
but when I'm using it, I have no complaints, I guess is how I would put it. It's better than the first LCD for the Steam Deck, for example. I really enjoy the way the Joy-Cons snap on. I enjoy the way everything feels. And then playing games on this thing has been fantastic. There are a handful of things that have me worried up front, like some games from third-party publishers launching on the device right away aren't fully optimized. Hitman 3 is a bit framey, and I'm like, there's not a huge excuse for that because that's a game that goes all the way back to 2016. But I'm starting to feel like that is on the studio side and not necessarily on the Switch 2 side, because a lot of stuff does run fantastic. Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is weird how well it runs. Link's Awakening is completely smooth. Mario Kart World looks great, runs great. There's a lot of cool stuff that I liked or that I had put to the side now runs even better. And then the handful of new stuff like Mario Kart World is mostly living up to expectations, even if I'm not fully in love with Mario Kart World for just because I think I had expectations that open world would be more than it is, and now that I've sort of accepted it for what it is, I'm like, okay, still not perfect, but this is a game that I can't put down because I continue to have a really good time with it. And then all the other bullshit features, Mike, like game chat and the camera, I really like way more than I expected to. So I'm kind of smitten with the console so far.
my brothers and my like nephews, nieces have been using that apparently to great effect.
Yes.
So Game Chat seems like a surprising winner from
Yep.
the launch. Actually, it's working surprisingly well and is surprisingly neat and kind of just a hit with friends and family and things like that. I need to dive into it more myself. I've definitely been really happy with it. I'm enjoying it a lot. I don't have any of that. Oh, it's just a pro complaint. Even though, like, I know, I guess, like, I understand what people are saying, but only in the sense that, of course, all new consoles are going to feel like quote unquote pros
Right.
now.
And I did a video to that effect. Like, it's a pro, but so is everything at this point. And so what? Like, what else would I have wanted?
Right.
Nothing. I want it to be a pro.
Yeah, I'm getting so many things that I wanted out. There's just more games playing at higher frame rates and looking better. Just, the interface running better, the shop running better, and all the little stuff is neat. Playing around with the mouse Joy-Con thing, even though so far that's just in Welcome Tour, it's been kind of neat so far. I want to, even though, that's a gimmick, but it's a neat gimmick. I think it's fun. I'm also having a good time with Mario Kart World. I think maybe we thought, this open world is going to be maybe not Forza Horizon in terms of
Definitely
the depth
closer
there,
to
but
that, though. Yeah.
But maybe a little bit closer to that. There's not much to do in it aside from, collect some coins, hit some PAL blocks and things like that. It's fun. I wish there was a little bit more. I do like the courses, though. They're great. How do you feel about the Grand Prix kind of setup where, like, the first track you do just like the 3 laps, but then the other tracks, 2 of the laps is just getting there, and then you really are only in that track for 1 lap. I don't mind that, and I do like the whole conceit of we're actually driving these places. But I'm like, well, can't we have an option though with more traditional Grand Prix, just 3 normal laps and all?
Time trial? I haven't tried.
Apparently, I think you can do it that way. Yeah.
Okay, so it is possible.
It is possible, I think, on time trial. I mean, So all the tracks are still a loop, right? They're still, they still start and end the same place. So all of them could be done that way, and I imagine at some point, obviously, like Rainbow Road is just one really long thing, and it's not like that, and that's fine. Rainbow Road in this is fantastic.
Yeah, it's really good.
One of the best Rainbow Roads I've ever seen. But I enjoy it quite a lot. Me, like I've always thought Mario Kart is an 8, and this is another Mario Kart 8. Not literally, we had this is another 8. Some of the stuff is super fun. I like all the rail stuff and even some of that wall jumping stuff. The courses look great. I think getting the costumes for the characters is fun. I still think that the creatures are kind of pointless and soulless, and it's funny to see a cow for a little bit. I'm over it, but I'm a funny duddy with that stuff, I suppose. I do think, you were saying like maybe the bullshit is even more bullshit, and I was wondering if that's true for me, because I've never liked that stuff, right? And I get it. Nobody else wants to play Mario Kart without items on, but it really does feel like there's 4 blue shells a race. I don't know if that's because there's so many more racers and the probability of blue shell is the same, but it's just like, if you're in first place, at some point you have to deal with a blue shell.
I mean, what it is like there's so much more mayhem behind first place that they absolutely need the blue shell to keep the first place player in the battle, because otherwise they would pull so far ahead. If there was only one a race, first place would just like have no reason to fall back. And that maelstrom, from second to 18th, there's people that fall way behind, but like second to 18th is just crazy, and it's so hard to get out of that because even with the wide roads, the roads are wider to accommodate 24 players. It's just nonstop nonsense. And that is Mario Kart to a certain degree, but I thought they struck a pretty decent balance with 8. I would have preferred they tried to maintain that, but it's got to be really difficult to balance something like that with this many players in a game like Mario Kart and make it feel like anything can happen, which is so important to these games. And I do think they just fell on the side of, well, you know what? We have a solution to our balancing problems, and it's turn up the rubber banding and turn up how often these items show up, and let's just blast these players so that they feel like they can't get, unstuck from the crowd. I just, for me, it's not a problem in Grand Prix as much as it is in Knockout Tour. And Grand Prix, it does feel like there's a chance to maybe race a little bit more. In Knockout Tour, when you are have several checkpoints, you really do got to play a little bit more strategically, and that's gotten me to the point where I am holding back at the start of the race and just picking my moments to go ahead. And like I've said in other places, I don't love playing that way. That doesn't really, it's not great for me. Even though I like Knockout Tour as a concept, as a mode, I just wish they could tune that a little bit so that that there was I don't know what the answer is, but I do know that I wish it was a little bit different. So overall, I mean, I just think the game looks so nice. I like all the bullshit characters. I like collecting costumes. That's keeping me coming back. So there's a lot of reasons to play this game, even if that open world is a little bit dull. Really all it is just finding some secrets, finding some challenges and doing those. And there's not much else connecting those things together. But still, I've enjoyed playing this game overall. I just wish they could have given it a little something extra to get it over the top.
Is the $80 price tag a sore point for you with it? Kind of feeling like you know, because like the justification, of course, it was always a bullshit PR justification. Was that, well, it's $8 because there's just so much here, and always feels like less than you were expecting for. Does that kind of prick your side a little?
A little bit, but I mean, I did get the bundle, so I didn't pay $80 for this thing. So I'm not really thinking about that too much. But I guess when I do consider it, it's like, oh, weird. Yeah, that I don't know what they're thinking there, other than they know people who are buying this game are not. They're just seeing Mario Kart, and they have to have the new Mario Kart, so it's that simple for them. So, yeah, I'm just like comparing this to Mario Kart 8 and being like, okay, that game really nailed things for me. I wish this one could have been as refined, and really feels like they kind of just wanted to add some stuff and then couldn't figure out how to refine that back to the level that they had Mario Kart 8.
Is it working for you as a kind of marquee launch title, right? Maybe that's the question. Would this have been better if there was still the big 3D Mario game or Zelda game or Metroid Prime 4 or something?
Yeah, if this was what we were playing on this, like to break up playing the new Zelda or new Mario, this would be fantastic. I think that's what goes without saying for sure. With the free roam mode being what it is, it's not really living up to a launch game for me, like being the one game you have at launch. So yeah, that's hurting it a little bit. But excuse me, having it as a game where I brought it home, put it on the TV, we set up the camera, and me and the kids were playing it with our faces on the TV. They love that stuff, and I'm really enjoying it too. I think it's really cute, really smart. So it's working as like, this is the reason everyone wants to play the Switch 2, and we can play it together. That's nice. So I think it's accomplishing what it wants to for families. But in terms of like how I remember the Switch launch going, where I was just like locked into this thing for 150 hours playing Zelda, it's certainly not that. How about you?
And we'll get Donkey Kong Bonanza soon. I mean, yeah, again, it's for me, it's another Mario Kart.
It's always been Mario Kart.
I played through all the Grand Prix, and I think that was fun. I'll probably mess around a little bit more, but otherwise, there's not a whole much more I'm gonna do here aside from playing with friends occasionally and checking out new tracks when those do come out. But I'm largely excited for Donkey Kong Bonanza. I think that'll definitely be the meteor Switch 2 release. But we do have
5
some other
weeks
stuff
away from that. Like 5 weeks. That's it.
Yeah, it's gonna be here real soon. We do have another quote unquote big Nintendo game for the launch of this thing, right? Switch 2 Welcome Tour, which is both fun and very frustrating.
Yeah, and kind of insane.
It's kind of insane. First off, just like the presentation of it has gone straight back to the Wii era, Wii U era, where everything is very sterile and looks like a chart from a medical room or something, right?
It looks a lot like Clubhouse games, and somehow even more boring than that. Which, I think Clubhouse games really works for its presentation. They make it cute and fun. This is less cute and fun than that.
Right. And I mean, some of the stuff that's here is, these mini games, they're simple, but it is kind of fun to watch how the mouse works and do the little gimmicks there. Some of it is like so dumb, it's almost endearing again. Like they give you a quiz about the Switch 2, right? And a lot of it is just walking around and clicking on every button, not on your controller in the game, so you get stamps. It would be so inoffensive as the pack-in thing. We would all be fine with it. And even though $10 is not a lot, I really am kind of indignant that they charged for this. Incredible. How dare they? And I bought it. So what do I guess I got to hate myself a little bit too, but I'm a journalist. I got to look into these
exactly.
things,
Yes. That's how I feel. I'm like, I got to see this thing for myself. I do a Nintendo podcast. I got it. I've not really played much of it. I played like an hour, I guess. Poked around on one of the Joy-Cons, maybe started my way to the next one. It kind of puts me to sleep. Like that's really what it is. It's so even Like, let's just take the price out of it. Even like comparing it to other things that have been packed in with consoles, like even like Face Raiders for the 3DS. It's not as interesting as that. Let alone the Astros playrooms or the Astros other stuff that was on the
Astros playroom makes this look.
It's in another
really
universe. Yeah,
right. Was Nintendo Land a pack in for the Wii U?
If you got the black, more expensive Wii U, yes.
Okay, so kind of.
So yeah, it was because most people got that one because they had more storage.
Right, yeah, so basically that was a lot more impressive than this. Had a lot more personality than this. Even things like Wii Sports, right? Like, I mean, come on. So yeah, it's just wild.
I'm like, it's just. I'm kind of glad it exists. I just wish it wasn't. I mean, like, it's such a boring thing because everyone says it, but I just can't believe and wish it wasn't $10. If it just came with the damn thing, it'd be a completely different thing. Honestly, I kind of think somehow weirdly more people will play it now because it's $10. If you spent $10 on it, fuck, you're gonna try to get your money's worth out of that. Because if it was just included, I don't think most people would ever turn the damn thing on. It's because it's that dull. So yeah, it's just a weird thing. It's Nintendo's most hubris filled decision of this launch by far.
Yeah, I think there are a few things like the price is high, blah blah blah. But yeah, this is just one of the strangest Nintendo decisions I think yet. Right, not since the Game Boy Advance not having a headphone, SP not having a headphone jack or whatever. Right, like I've been like, what? Like, come on, you guys can afford to just make this a pack-in game, but bottom lines matter, even over there. Of course they do.
Go ahead, Christian.
You say play it. I don't know. Maybe I caught the wrong runtime. The stream I was watching of people like playing it, but it didn't look like they were playing. They were just like watching a movie. And
there are occasional mini games. Some of them I think are even like pretty neat. The Super Mario Brothers 4K version where the level just unfurls across the screen to show you just how many more pixels you have compared to an NES. Sure, that's cute, but it's also like there's the frame rate test where it's like, here's a ball bouncing at 15 frames per second, 30 frames per second, 60 and 120. That's a GIF, right? That's just like, we've seen that as a GIF on the internet before, and now Nintendo's just done that and then said, hey, which one do you think is at running at 60 frames per second? It's really low effort.
It's just not much. But there are some other accoutrements with this launch. Have you talked about messing around with the Tears of the Kingdom patch version? I was messing around with the Breath of the Wild patch version, and it is weird just how cool it is seeing that game running at 60 frames per second and how excited I am to kind of just start a new save and play Breath of the Wild again.
Yeah, it looks wild. Just, I mean, not to use the word, but how smooth it is. Like, I was actually a little upset with Tears of the Kingdom, because I'm just so used to that game looking one way, and to have it running, it's also just super sharp because they up-res the resolution as well, so it's really crisp and running super smooth. And I just have no memory of the game looking this way, and have spent a lot of time with those two games. So it actually took me a second to get used to it, but it obviously looks amazing. It is far from the only game that got updates. There's a spreadsheet, and people are like wondering where to find that on the subreddit. Someone like linked to it. They're, hey, well, it's for the Bombcast today, and the thread there. You could find the link. There's like 100 games that have been tracked so far, and people are trying to find, hey, here are the improvements in docked mode. Here's the improvements in handheld mode, and there's a lot. Like, even if the frame rate is capped at 30, there's a lot that are now running at a higher locked resolution. They never drop below 720. Some are even running at a locked 1080, for example. So, and to take advantage of that new screen, and at this 8-inch screen, I think it's at now, 1080p is like just at a point where like that actually does make a difference again. Like when we were at 7 inches or below that, 720p was definitely more than enough. Now that we're getting around 8 inches or larger, 1080p screen does look really nice, and just games look really, really fantastic on this thing, and the performance is fully there. Even if it's not like the most up-to-date hardware, the NVIDIA technology in there clearly is doing a lot of work to make sure that these things are running great. And it's interesting because all these Switch games are being emulated on the Switch too, so clearly a lot of work was put into that as well.
Yeah, I'm excited to try out Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which I know has got a pretty nice frame rate boost from this, thank God. And Link's Awakening and Echoes of Wisdom don't have that kind of weird like, back and forth between 60 and 30. That kind of was messy. So would like to see what that looks like as well. Big hit for me, Jeff, has been the GameCube NSO. I, of course, love the GameCube. You love the GameCube. I was excited for these games, and it's working very, very well. Better than I could have maybe hoped. Because, we had Dolphin. It's such a good emulator. And it was like, well, what's Nintendo's emulator going to be like? And it looks like it's working really well. These games are up-res in some degree as far as I can tell. The widescreen support just works perfectly, so they look awesome. The button remapping is a great feature. You can do it per game, so, it helps alleviate any of the weirdness from what you think it should be, or from, trying to kind of make things up because those face buttons were in different places now. Like in Soul Calibur 2 is my example, because I can use the left shoulder button on the Switch controller to maybe do things like button combinations that were easy to do in the GameCube, but not easy to do on the Switch 2 buttons. I know people like that built-in CRT filter. I haven't tried that.
I've been using that on N64 games, and it's really nice, especially on the handheld screen, because it's obviously it's obvious that they tuned it for that screen, so you don't have any of that weirdness of mismatched pixels with the pixels on your TV or whatever, so you get an uneven like interlace pattern or something like that. It's all just looks perfect on the screen, and looks pretty good on televisions as well. Like it seems to be dynamically changing depending on your TV, but it just looks really nice in handheld mode. And yeah, I've enjoyed that. The emulation kind of across the board for NSO stuff has been really good. But you're right, GameCube is spectacular. It looks like they're rendering it internally at like 4 or 5x. So games like F-Zero are fantastic. And Marino's like, why do they give you the EU games? You can't turn that off. That's a check mark in the options. So if you don't want to see those,
it was strange. I wonder what the reasoning behind that was.
I'm sure there's like very minor differences between some of those games, but I can't. Or maybe the EU one has language options that are not in the North American version. It's probably it, and they want to give you, because this thing is global, so it's probably just that simple.
Yeah, turn off that. Turn off the thing to show in-game controls, which just constantly reminds you to push the select button to access the menu. Turn that off as well. You put games in a widescreen, it's just super clean. Haven't tried Wind Waker out yet. I bet I'm just going to play through Wind Waker again. Like, I know, the Wii U edition is better in some ways. I don't think in any ways that I'm going to really super miss. I can handle the slower sailing. I can handle the full Triforce quest. I'm okay with all of that. And I bet that game is going to look very, very good still.
Yep. And F-Zero is timeless. It really just
F-Zero
looks as good as it needs to look.
Are both so freaking good. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I was having so much fun playing Soul Calibur 2. It's just, I still think it's the best 3D fighting game ever. Newbies can be good at it and still have fun, right? They can kind of understand it, but there still is a lot to master there. You have the arcade mode, but you also have that Weapon Master single player mode that has a ton of stuff to do. So it's just fantastic. I'm going to be playing a ton of that. But yeah, anything else that you've been playing much? I started up Hitman as well, and I was like, okay, this is looking pretty good, but seems maybe not super consistent. And I didn't know if it was just Hitman is that demanding, or like you said, maybe just not optimized fully yet.
Yeah,
I get there.
I think it's not super demanding. I think it's just not optimized to the best degree. Now, I mean, it is like Hitman that goes all the way back to 2016, but Hitman 3 came out in 2021, I want to say, and they did add a lot of graphical features. And this is World of Assassination, which is a even more recent update. So they have done a ton of stuff. They added functional mirrors, functional reflections, and stuff like that. That wasn't back in Hitman 1. So there are newer graphical elements that probably are making it a little bit more difficult for the Switch 2 to handle, but it should run better than it does. It just should, based on the hardware that we have here and based on the age of that game. But yeah, that's what I've been playing that a little bit more in the last day or two, trying to get my level. I haven't looked up how to get the Luigi stuff and the Mario stuff yet. I've just kind of been playing. I'm gonna do that next and see if I what specifically I have to do to unlock that, if I do need to unlock it. Because I want to just play around as Luigi. I think that'd be fun.
Sure.
Beyond that, though, there are just a couple of things. How are you feeling about the battery life?
I'm not super sure because when I'm in planes and I'm at home, I generally just have access to a USB
Wall
charger,
power,
right? Yeah. So I haven't really tested that thing out yet. So I haven't really hit any roadblocks. How about you?
It is. It's pretty mediocre. I think it's definitely running out a little bit faster than I thought it would. imagining that that's just a lot of those graphical features or technical features that NVIDIA built into this thing probably are running that processor pretty consistently, even if a game isn't running at or isn't that demanding. And that's probably causing that battery to just go. It's not the worst. It's definitely in the acceptable territory. But I think I got pretty used to like Steam Deck and the OLED Steam Deck has a pretty good battery life at this point, and the Switch OLED has a pretty good battery life at this point. It doesn't quite match those. So that's been, it's a bummer to downgrade that side of things for a handheld. But you're right. I play this thing primarily in my house, so I will just be plugging this thing for most of the time. But I did take it with me on a trip, and I was playing on a plane, and it lasted the majority, if not, it lasted all of my plane ride home from LA to Cleveland, which is about 4.5 hours. It was just about to die basically at that point, and I wasn't playing the most demanding games that entire time, so that's one of the reasons it lasted that long. I think in most use cases for a Mario Kart world, had I been playing Mario Kart that entire time, I think it would have died well before I got to Cleveland, which is, it's again a little annoying. But who am I kidding? They're going to put out a new Switch 2 in a couple of years. I'll buy that thing with improved battery life. So yeah, this is not the end of the world. And then trying to think, the other small like HD Rumble 2 stuff like that. How does any of that stuff float your boat?
Oh, I don't know. I played that weird mini game in Welcome Tours. Like, can you find where the rumble's the highest? At a certain point, you're kind of just guessing. Like, oh, it's high in this area. So I did that for a bit. I got 6
pixels away for that in Dan's game. I was like, I got locked in on that game. Yeah.
Have you tried any other third-party games? Apparently, Street Fighter 6 is actually looking very good on Switch 2.
Right, that's what makes me think some of these games aren't optimized. Because Street Fighter 6, they did turn off some graphical features for sure. They chose some of the right ones to turn off, like the it's not screen space reflections. Maybe it was screen space reflections or something like that. But some of that stuff was looking pretty rough in other versions of the RE engine and Street Fighter specifically. So, yeah, the game looks incredibly sharp. I have not tried it yet, though. I have my Switch 2 here in terms of other stuff I've been playing. But it has mostly been, Hitman, Mario Kart. Oh, I was playing Paper Mario, trying to get that wrapped up. Did some F-Zero 99, Hentai Golf.
Of course. You said I walked into the villa, the Warframe villa, and you're like, it turns out Hentai Golf's not a good game.
Yeah, I never actually really played it, and I finally did on the Switch 2, and it's a bad golf game. There's not much to Hentai Golf at all. I don't want to shock anybody. I did try Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1+2. That's locked at 30, so I kind of wish they would just unlock that, because I bet that would be at 60 now. Rocket League, I think, was similar. I didn't really play much Yakuza 0, although I have that. Sonic Shadow Generations, I haven't really played that either, although I have that. So let's do a big, long Switch 2 stream this week and play a bunch of these other games and see how they look. I think that would be fun. But overall, I think my feeling right now is I am very grateful that the Switch 2 is here, because I like using my Switch, and now I'll just kind of slot the Switch 2 into that position, and I kind of won't miss a beat. And is that as exciting as it could be for a new console launch? No, but I don't need it to be anymore. I just need this thing to be exactly what it is. And now give me Donkey Kong, and give me an improved Pokemon Legends. Right. Give me Metroid, right? So I'm looking forward to a bunch of games already. Some of my most anticipated games for this year are coming on this device. So I'm going to be getting my money's worth here real fast.
Oh, yeah, I definitely am happy. I don't have anything close to buyer's remorse. I am happy with it. And I know I'm going to be spending a ton of time with this thing. I mean, Mario Kart World is not something that's going to last me forever. But just playing Breath of the Wild again sure is. I'm going to spend a ton of time in these GameCube games. I might be spending a lot of time in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, of all things. It's not going to be long at all until there are just more new games. I do think one more big-ish launch title from Nintendo would have helped.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, it would have gone a long way. Yes.
This is never going to be in the conversation of all-time great launch lineups or something like that, right?
No. But I mean, let's see. If Donkey Kong Bonanza hits really hard, and that'll be launch window, and I'll consider a launch game in many ways, because what's a month really. if that hits really hard, I'm going to be feeling very good about this system. If that's kind of mid, we could have some problems. And I think Switch 2 will have a bit of a backlash at that moment. So that is going to be a moment of truth for the Switch 2 a little bit.
I think so. All right. So yeah, overall, thumbs up for the Switch 2.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think so. Yep. Yeah. I mean, look, it's expensive. It is $450, $500 with Mario Kart. I get anyone who's waiting. And I get that we are also we have a Nintendo podcast. That is what it is. But if this is something you think you might enjoy, you are probably right.
All right, Jeff, we do actually have a couple other news items here. Today, somewhat randomly on the Nintendo Today app, Splatoon Raider is announced by Nintendo. The first ever Splatoon spin-off games coming to the Switch 2. There is a video, but it's hard to get much of a sense what this game's actually going to be. It almost feels like another one of those single-player campaigns, but as a separate thing. You are kind of gallivanting around with the pop trio from Splatoon 3, which is again
big man.
Usually the single player for like the Splatoon game features the DJs from the last game. So it almost feels like we're getting the single player for Splatoon 4.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Like they're kind of like rushing that out to have Splatoon something, right? Like that kind of feels what this is.
Yeah, but again, we don't really know not much about that. But we don't even know what's coming out, right? So who knows? Maybe this is that one more Nintendo game we're getting this year. But Splatoon 3 is also getting an update. Switch 1 and Switch 2 all getting some new content, but the Switch 2 update is going to include some graphical improvements. So that'll be nice. But yeah, the new content is some new weapons. There's going to be a level returning from Splatoon 1 called Urchin Underpass, which was a fan favorite there. So yeah, I think we were talking in the lead up here. How soon would it be before Splatoon got some love on the Switch 2? I think we both thought it was maybe a little early for Splatoon 4, and it is. But here's a way you still can bring that game, that franchise, over to the new console. Makes sense.
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense because Splatoon seems really important to Nintendo right now. I think it's even just kind of saying Splatoon will help sell a ton of these things in Japan. Not that they're going to need a lot of help, but any sort of urgency you can create to get a Switch 2 is going to be beneficial for them. And kind of maybe some people who are holding off on the sideline will now try to rush out and get this thing. I'm curious to see exactly what this is. I hope this is going to be a standalone Splatoon adventure single player game. I hope it really just goes all out. I mean, not that the single player campaigns in Splatoon have been disappointing up to this point. They've all been pretty good. And then they've had other, they've had other new modes that I've not even touched that I've heard good things about.
Splatoon 3 has like a roguelike mode that I'll be super happy to try out now with the update, right?
Exactly. That's exactly where I'm at as well. So, I mean, if that's the kind of stuff we've gotten before from just Splatoon multiplayer games, what is this? Is it like a big action game with adventure elements? Is it Nintendo's take on what's the Horizon games or whatever? Like, I don't think it's gonna be that, but like I'm starting to get ideas in my head that this could be much bigger, and I'm sure I'll be disappointed. I guess maybe I'm hoping that this will be the game that I thought Splatoon 3 could be when they first started showing that trailer of that Squid Kid sort of in the desert. It's like, oh wait, are we going to be exploring a world in the single player game? Again, that's probably not what this is. This is probably going to be something that's a little bit smaller. Like it could even be like a $50 game. Like I wouldn't be surprised by that. So yeah, that does not mean it's going to be some problem if it's not this big thing that I'm imagining it could be, because so far every Splatoon single player game has been really good. Or the single player modes, I should say.
Yeah. We do think that this maybe hurts those rumors of there being a Nintendo Direct coming soon, because
I feel that way.
Kind of were to just throw this out there. Although again, like we don't have much info about it, including a release date, and we still don't know about things like Metroid Prime 4's release date. So like, but still, like that seems like a Direct that can happen at any time within the next few months. And the rumor was that we were going to get one very imminently around the Switch 2 launch, and I don't know.
Yeah, I there was one rumor, and then some other rumors that they have, or I guess corrections. People said they hadn't heard of anything. I think this makes me think there probably won't necessarily be a Direct now this summer. we probably get one in September, August, maybe even like late August as we're coming out of summer, something like that, to set up the end of this year. But if Splatoon is the one other game released for this year, yeah, they don't need another direct imminently. They do not need one in the next couple of weeks through the end of June. Maybe Donkey Kong Bonanza gets its own standalone direct.
Maybe Metroid gets a direct, right?
Yeah, right.
Because again, you could talk about Metroid Prime 2 remastered, hopefully, something like that.
Or both those things just get huge blowouts in the Nintendo Today app, and
they could at this point, like
it's
right?
clear
like,
that that's important to them.
That Metroid Prime 4 release, they could just be the thing that shows up one of these days in that app, or Metroid Prime 2 remastered, even Donkey Kong 64 coming out. So all of those things can be. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. Last thing, Jeff, Black Ops 7 Call of Duty got announced over the weekend, which was interesting. But that's not coming on Switch 2, despite all the drama about them promising that with the lawsuits, with all the
they promised those games would come to Switch 1, let alone Switch 2.
Yeah, but they said, "Oh, that's going to happen." Basically, that's still going to happen, even though presumably these games will only get more and more complicated to port over to these consoles. I don't know. Like,
I mean, is it likely that because Activision? This doesn't make sense to me, but because Activision would just be legacy at this point. But I guess maybe not, because Activision's Microsoft. Maybe Nintendo did not give them development kits. I think that is probably the case. I think even though Nintendo is buddy with Microsoft at this point, I bet there's a thing in Nintendo that prevents them from handing over development kits to a rival like that until after the system is out.
Oh yeah, that might be a possibility. But boy, there's a part of me. It's like, boy, that team that made Black Ops 6 just making Black Ops 7, they got a lot on their plate, let alone trying to optimize a Switch version, right?
Yep, absolutely. That's bananas.
No, but
I should watch. Oh yeah, I should watch that trailer again, because I'm like, now that I know what it is, I want to like just watch it with new eyes.
It's so weird because everybody liked Black Ops 6 campaign for kind of like going the almost Jack Ryan route, right?
Yeah,
and this looks like
what it should be.
Completely different.
It looked like a Silent Hill game. I don't know. It was weird.
It reminded me of old Black Ops, where it was super. Remember like the missions in Black Ops were like they just wash your brain and you had to decide what reality is, that kind of stuff.
It's clear that's what they're doing. Yeah, they're going for something like that. And that's going to enable them to do crazy and horrific things to your brain. And,
shit!
Oh shit!
Hey, congrats! I'll tell you what. I always admire franchises that make it to a legit number 7 entry with the number 7 in it. More things to talk about. When what's the best 7 game ever? Because right now that pool is small, right?
Yeah, but isn't this
everyone's answers Resident Evil 7 or Final Fantasy 7? So.
Isn't this also cowardly though? Because this is really Call of Duty 26 or whatever, which I think it's either 26 or 25.
I'm not sure if it's even actually Black Ops 7, because there's one that was just called Black Ops Cold War at one point. Is that factored in?
Maybe not.
I'm even prouder of franchises that abandon numbers and then return to them, like Mario Kart, which then abandoned them again just recently.
Yep.
So I don't know what the hell's going on. So yeah, no Call of Duty on the Switch too. All right.
So sorry, you don't think they're gonna port like Warzone? They think that makes them money.
Warzone will be on Switch 2 at some point.
Yeah, point. Yeah, they'll do Warzone.
Yeah,
here. And apparently Fortnite looks pretty good on the Switch too.
Yeah, but I was actually thinking about downloading that, although I missed the Star Wars season, so now I'm kind of like, what the hell am I gonna play?
Right.
What is the new one? Can't remember.
Yeah.
DC
Chat
stuff.
saying Black Ops Cold War was 5, so yeah, they did abandon numbers and then get back to it. Fantastic.
There you go.
All right, why don't we take a break here finally? We got a bunch of super chats we got to get to. We're going to have a smaller mailbag section this week because, lots going on here. But yeah, we'll get to all that right through this.
Breakaroo.
I'm good to just go.
Yeah. Christian, should we like break out the Switch 2 review as its own video? Like,
yeah, I'll do that.
Does that make sense? I think it does. Okay. All right. Thanks.
Yeah, yeah, I'll do that.
Cool.
Viper's a cool character. I'm glad she's coming back.
Wait, hang on. Let me go grab my kitten real quick.
Okay.
All right.
Did you pop for Sea Viper, Christian?
I did.
Yeah, that's cool.
Do like Sea Viper. I mean, it's not my sorry, what is
favorite. I was gonna say I like Alex fine because he's from 3, but it's not exactly like my favorite from 3.
Same. I
give me
just like. I mean,
Lakota.
yeah. I think he looks cool. That's what.
Yeah, I think that's cool. Give me again. Give me the weirdos. Give me Necro or Q again, right?
Well, we already have a JP. Like,
Yeah, but
it's the Q of the.
JP
You got a
sucks.
baby.
All right,
Is
I'm
your
ready.
baby here? Look at
You
the
got the
baby. Yes,
baby. Oh, she's got places to be. She's frisky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
her name's
she
Cookie.
was. She was. Oh shit. Yeah, she's
They
flew
just go.
away. Sorry, we were talking about a kitty.
It's
All
okay.
right.
All right.
Bring it back.
All right, Jeff, we're back. Let's hear from those super chats. Everyone else has Switch 2, well, not everyone, but some people have Switch 2s and they have opinions, I bet.
Oh, shit. All right, let me get the super chats. I'm looking at them right now. I just got to make this browser wide enough to read them. Let's start here with Dat Boy Jerry.
enough?
What's up?
Yes. I said, ain't no browser wide enough.
Dat Boy Jerry says, won't be able to watch live, so dropping this early. Y'all killed it at SGF and GB at night. Thank you. Congrats. Any chance Nintendo finally lets Shinnon make the F-Zero game? Fast Fusion is dope. Chris Pontius. Is that
Someone's got to make it. I mean, who else can make that? I guess an internal Nintendo team still can't do it. I don't know. Has Nintendo ever actually... Yeah, right. Has Nintendo ever actually done something like that where they looked at one of these inspired by Nintendo games and then got that company to make the actual sequel? Because I don't know if they've ever actually
I don't think so. Did Capcom ever make a Zelda-inspired game before making a couple of Zelda games?
Not really.
Yeah,
I don't think so. I mean, I'm sure somebody would come up with something that's kind of in that style. I mean, Willow, actually, they made Willow on the NES. There you go.
All right,
maybe that was it.
Second best Zelda series right there, Willow.
Yeah, I hope you appreciate that. I'm not going to lie. That was some gamer knowledge drop right there. To remember that Capcom made Willow for the NES and it was a Zelda-like.
That's pretty impressive. Well done. There it is.
Oh, people are saying Mercury Steam, but like Mercury Steam made... like that Castlevania game that they made was actually not very good.
Yeah.
I don't mean Lords of Shadow. I mean the 3DS one. That if we're talking about Metroid games.
Yeah, I guess it still counts though. Yeah. Big Fresh 37. Mikey, how will you get your revenge on Maximilian and Matt McMuscles for being happy about Marvel Token? We can boycott them if you want.
Everyone's happy about it.
Go. Fuck you, Ma. You don't know shit.
Everyone's happy about it, but me. I'm like, I kind of had a identity crisis or a crisis of faith. I don't know throughout it because I was like, other people are gonna feel the same way I do right now. Everyone's just happy. I guess I don't know. It's like, but it's just true. Like Marvel vs. Capcom is what matters to me, not just like a Marvel fighting game like that. Even it will be very good, I bet.
Yeah.
And I will have some fun with it, but it's just not going to matter that much to me, probably. Maybe I'll play it and I'll get really deep into it.
Sure.
I don't know.
But you'll still miss the Capcom side. Like, even if you love this game, you're still going to miss the Capcom stuff.
Yeah, it's like, and that's one thing confusing. I thought we all agreed we're a little over Marvel, right?
Right.
And I guess that doesn't matter if they make good stuff still, right? Like people like Marvel Rivals and all that.
But I mean, like
you're
not into Invincible, and you thought that game was pretty fun. So it's like, that's how it works.
It's kind of occupying a similar wavelength, maybe a little bit more, I suppose.
Of course.
But yeah, it's like, oh wow, Captain America fighting Spider-Man. Yeah.
I mean, it looked really good. It looks really good.
It looks really good, and not only that, it's going to be very good.
Yeah.
But it's going to be great. I'm just, when I get vertical, it's not for show, right? It's got to happen.
It's got to be real. Yeah, he never fakes the vertical.
What it is.
Right. And maybe part of it is like, I like Arc. Maybe I don't love Arc. I sometimes think that their games have too many systems and are a little bit extra.
Dragon Ball Fighters it's gonna be more like that than anything. And that game was very accessible, and I like that game a lot. So if that's what we're talking about here, then I'm gonna be into it.
I'm sure this game's gonna have that thing where you should smash one button and it's gonna be an automatic combo with a super at the end. Exactly. It's gonna have that. Yeah.
Yep. So sure, but I'll be more positive when I get to it. But it's just, there was like a lot of people were like, oh, I bet we're going to see Marvel vs. Capcom 4 or 5. Don't yell at me, Infinite fans. And I kind of bought into that a bit. So that's where my letdown came from.
I understand. Yeah. I do like the Marvel vs. Capcom for real, unlike Mike, because I like Infinite. So I was also like expecting that. But yeah, it's just, you just give it a chance, and maybe you'll like it.
I want Capcom to make another fighting game. Like, I like their Street Fighter games a lot. I want them to make one of something else, whether it's a Darkstalkers, a versus game, or something. I just want to see something.
Okay, so it doesn't have to be a versus, but okay.
I would like to see something else.
Yeah, I agree. Simon from Saskatchewan says, do you think Nintendo will release Twilight Princess separately on Switch 2, or will it go on the GameCube feature? It's a weird one because it's also a Wii game. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, but I bet we will see. Like, at this point, why wouldn't they? We got Wind Waker. I could definitely see them just doing the GameCube one, and then, they'll have the same decision about, are they also going to do those Wii U editions, and I bet they will. But yeah, if we got Wind Waker, we may as well get there. You say there's a Wii one, but the Wii one isn't. If you put the Wii one onto the Switch 2, there's no what does that really mean? The image is flipped, and you have bad motion controls. So no, you would just put the GameCube one on there, and that's fine.
Let's see here. Simon from Saskatchewan, back in the middle of his trifecta, says, Mario Kart has been a perfect recovery game for me. It's hard for me to concentrate on more detailed games, so this is perfect. Fave course so far? Sorry, beat myself.
Yeah, Rainbow Road is fantastic. DK Spaceport, super cool. I like the Toad Factory a lot. I like factory industrial places quite a bit.
Toad Factory is a good call. I like that one a ton. That's where they're making all the power ups and stuff, right? That's just a cool looking thing. So yeah, that's probably my standout. Cheap Cheap River is awesome, says Brad Lynch. I agree. That's another cool
Lots
one.
of great tracks.
Yep, just lots of great cool stuff happening in the background. Very theme park, actually, which I'm into.
I should play time trial mode, because I bet I actually might have most fun with this game if I am just racing by myself without items on and just doing 3 laps on each track or whatever. I think that might actually be my preferred way.
If it has leaderboards, maybe we could do that. That would be fun. Simon from Saskatchewan, back to finish off the hat trick. Do you think Xenoblade X will get a beefy upgrade? I guess that's one that I haven't heard about, so it must not have much of an upgrade yet.
I bet so. I remember when the game came out on Switch 1, people found the option for 60 frames per second, and it wasn't working very well on the Switch 1, and we all assumed it was a Switch 2 feature. It's got to. I mean, come on. Why not? It's a newish game that people like, but yeah, it still was a Switch 1 game, and it was running like a Switch 1 game. Even I was kind of struggling with the way that game looked a little bit. I'd be much happier to dive in if it was prettied up just a tad.
Let's see. Two Bears says, I can't believe you woke sellouts have a whole podcast about the Switch 2 when I haven't seen you guys playing 1 minute of Mind's Eye or Splitgate 2. Yep, you got us. Yeah, nailed us.
Just so much weird stuff. I'm also with the Mind's Eye Steam charts are right now.
I think it was
I got an email.
Time it was 2000. Yeah, what's up?
I got an email in my side. They told me they didn't have reviews to give away. And I never asked for a review code for this game. What's going on?
I don't know.
I got the email.
There are just 1,600 something people playing Mind's Eye right now on Steam. That seems devastating.
There was 2,000 earlier. So that's, that was its peak. I want to, God, we got to stream Switch 2. But one of these days, I got to pick to also stream some Mind's Eye. I want to put that up on the internet. So
to be fair,
we'll see it.
In balance, I saw a little bit of this game. It doesn't look like I thought it was going to be I really like an asset flip or it's a super horror game. It looks like a real game.
It is a real game. It's just a real bad game.
Yeah, it's just I don't know what's going on. It makes it even more it makes me even more wanted to try it out because what's really bad about this game then?
Yeah, exactly. It's I'm more curious about it because of that. So we'll find some time. I am, like I said, very curious about it. Splitgate 2, I don't give a shit. Kitty Cat Man 93, this year's GB at Night was easily one of the best ever. Thank you. Immaculate vibes. Still thinking about the phrase confetti bukkake. Great work, fellas. Yeah, look, we do good work over there. I got to admit it.
Yeah. We started and ended strong, that's for sure.
Yeah. It was
I actually have no idea what happened in between. I was able to watch very little of it. I was mostly restocking pizza.
Yep. It was a good time. There were a lot of great panels. There's people posting just images of the people on various couches being like this, look at all these awesome people. And I agree. There were so many cool people. Really just shout outs to everyone for coming out. Just people that don't have to, people that have other things going on. Adam Cole Alana Pierce.
Adam Cole is very nice. What a sweetheart. Bomber guy, same thing.
Bomber
Super
guy.
cool
yeah,
dude.
he doesn't have to come
I can't
out.
believe you got Bomber guy. That was crazy.
Christian, he just hung out with us all night, both nights. He's a cool. He is a cool dude.
Awesome.
Nice as all hell, and even Adam Cole hung out for a bit. It's just a total sweetheart. So yeah, it's great seeing people and they're nice.
Everyone had something to say about Tommy Tellerico, and Bomber guy would just have that conversation with people. He was just willing to go into it. I just thought everyone that came by, huge sweethearts. Everyone, we've really built something cool where cool people want to come hang out, and I feel very proud of that.
Of course, Ben Stars was here, but Jennifer English was super nice also.
Right.
I was really excited meeting her. Yeah, everyone's great.
Everyone is great.
We're getting Dan Olson next year, Chad.
There you go.
I was talking to Super Eye Patch Wolf at PAX, and Dan Olson just comes up to him and starts talking to him, and I was too shy to say anything because they were having a real conversation. So
the two goats.
So right, exactly. I'm like, of course these fuckers know each other. All right, let's see here. Lex Luddy. Yes, that's where I'm at. Lex Luddy, how's it going? Lex had a pretty terrible week in a bit, but y'all's SGF coverage made me laugh and smile a lot. I'm glad to hear that. Sorry you had a bad week. Thanks, fuckos. Also, Yakuza 0 is great on Switch too. Pebis.
I may have just realized I have a code for that. So
good. Did you? That's like with Sonic and all that stuff as well. So
yeah, I think I got codes for like all the Sega games.
Yeah,
I just realized, and I'm very excited about that. Especially Puyo Tetris 2S. Let's go.
I got that as well. So maybe we could play some online Puyo Tetris 2.
Yeah, I bet Sonic Shadow Generations is great on Switch too. I want to look, but that was a good game. I don't see why that wouldn't run.
Is that something my kids would like?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna turn that on.
That game's good.
All right. Let's see. There we go. Draw Comics says they try and tell you video games don't cause violence, but I know how much you like Hitman, and I saw what happened to Dan this weekend. Peen's Nest. It definitely was a Hitman assassination. Like,
when is the
Hitman assassination, please?
When is the Warframe Villa going to become a map?
Warframe Villa and giant party poppers. If they listen, IOI, I know you're dealing with a lot with Mind's Eye right now, but look at me. I don't care. I will forgive everything if you put Dan Reichert's face in a party popper in a game, so I can just relive that moment every day of my life for the rest of my life. All right, let's see. Kirill Orlov says, I think Season 2 is what we needed, I think Switch 2 is what we needed. They abbreviated that to S2. Like you said in your video, it's a pro, but the software is what will deliver. Mario Kart World is fine, but it still scratches that itch. The dumb camera delivers the sillies. Yeah, that's exactly how I feel, kind of across the board. So, very cool.
Sorry, I saw a child lurking cautiously behind you. There she is. Like waiting to make a move.
Thing. Yeah, we had a different angle from Chef's camera, and we watched just like half a kid behind the chair. It was like very menacing. It was really funny.
She wants me to get down the basketball hoop thing so she could play it, but I can't do that right now because I'm doing a podcast. And also, that cat wants to jump in that thing so bad. And earlier, she got caught in. I have a little hockey net thing. She got her arm caught in that string, and she was like really hurting. So it's like, let's just kind of protect her for now. All right. L. Grug says, glad Mike can finally play GameCube games and not be perplexed on how to get the games out of the disk drive. Phoneliness. Yeah.
They solved that problem for me. That's nice.
Now your GameCube actually doesn't have an eject button anymore. So there you go.
But I hope we get like more GameCube games soon. It's just so fun having these. I don't want to wait forever. Give me that Fire Emblem like away so I can finally play that. My God,
Strikers seems to be like the one that probably actually will be next. They were testing that at some of those Switch 2 events, and that'd be fantastic. I mean, I love the Switch Strikers, but the original Super Mario Strikers is also fantastic, and just having those games work online. We should also test the Soul Calibur 2 online.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, for sure. Please.
Excuse me. All right, let's see here. Walshrus says, yo, dogs, wanted to say a late congrats on the giant bomb stuff. Thank you very much. Just got back from a 3-week trip to Japan, so just heard the news a few days ago. Mike, you need to go to Disney Sea. It's life-changing. I don't think he really cares to go.
Oh, I want to go. Funny, we were talking to people at the Warframe Villa, like basically begging us to go. I'm like, look, I want to. It's funny, like a lot of people can't believe, Jeff, that neither you or I have ever gone.
We missed the window, right?
Yeah, I think those trips were happening more before that. But even still, Dan's had these trips like happen to him.
Yeah, but like Game
It just never
Informer,
happened for us.
you know what? I guess he's had them recently too. But yeah, we just, we weren't in that position, and yeah, it's definitely something I would have liked to have made happen by now for sure. But we're gonna work on making this happen as like a big giant bomb thing. I think that'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Epic Open World says with the Splitgate 2 controversy, it was revealed that Kojima was photographed with a red "Make TV Great Again" hat. As the #1 Kojima fan, Mike, what are your thoughts on this?
I'll tell you what my thought is with this red carpet thing and whatnot, and like his directive to everyone take it seriously. I think I'm winning Jeff over on my side. Everybody, very slowly. I think Jeff's creeping over to the side of Kojima.
Gotta say, like, I mean, having a red carpet thing for your game is really stupid. Like, especially forcing real celebrities to come do it to the point where someone might even like ghost you on it and don't actually show up. But it's just a bit much, man. It you know what? It insists upon itself, and I don't. Kojima, Kojima can insist upon himself in some ways. This is the kind of lame loser way to do it. So, Mike, just keep at it. Like I'm like every day's a little bit more towards your side. All right.
And then that awful trailer. It was just two people talking at the SGF. What the hell? I think people forgot that happened. It was so boring.
Yeah, and I tell you that's the kind of stuff where like I'm gonna be like, oh, when Kojima delivers his crazy trailers that do a bunch of bullshit and he spent hours editing it, and you could tell like that's stuff I like, and this was not that. This is so far away from that it made me a little mad. So yeah, like what are we doing here? Oh, well,
exactly. What are we doing here?
I bet that game's going to be really good, though. So
I bet that game's probably going to be pretty good. So,
yeah. All right. Let's see here. From Gamefire, Grubb says, live from the Warframe Villa and presented by Annapurna Interactive. Lol. That's right. That's goddamn right.
You better believe it.
It was a lot of fun to actually have something that was sponsored, because it's like I've never really done much like that before, and working with those sponsors was really nice because they all just wanted us to be ourselves and do our thing, and that is the best kind of sponsor. So very cool. The Uncharted Wolf, with what Dan said about Souls-likes being the most influential game of the last 20 years, you forgot about Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1. Dark Souls is definitely in the top 3, though. Yeah, I mean. Yeah. You're right. Like, shooters really all just became Call of Duty after Call of Duty Modern Warfare, without a doubt. So, and that's like maybe the biggest genre. So I completely hear that argument. But when I think influential, I think like games that developers play and love and want to make games like. And that's, I mean, I think it was Metroidvanias for a long time, and there's a bunch of other genres for sure. But now it feels like Souls-like. Souls-like feels like the developer's game. And yeah, that when Game Freak announced one, at that point I was like, that's it, that settles it.
Jeff, we have a little bit of breaking news here.
Please.
Nintendo of America just tweeted out that the Switch 2 has sold over 3.5 million units worldwide in its first 4 days, becoming the fastest selling Nintendo hardware ever globally. So there you go. Strong start, as we expected, right?
Yep. They had to wait for me to pick up my my other pre-order, and then it finally clicked over, and then they could announce it. So, yeah, I'm not surprised. That thing was readily available up to like on that first day, and then it was sold out at the Best Buy when I went there today, obviously. So they'll restock it, and that thing's going to keep selling. How do you think it's going to be able to keep up this momentum?
Yeah, I do wonder. I mean, this right here seems like a win on both the production side. They did, they had time to make a lot of these, and probably because this came out later than they initially thought, so that helped. But yeah, there is a lot of demand for it, even at that price though, too, right? Which seems sketchy for some people. We're gonna lower the price. Kind of that Modern Warfare 2 Steam fan group thing, right? The boycott group, and there comes a day, and they're all playing it. So I'm sure they feel good. It will be interesting to see if this carries over. I remember the Dreamcast had a very strong launch, and I'm not suggesting that I don't think this is going to carry. I bet
you just can't tell a lot in this moment. Yeah.
This can't. Yeah, it's hard to tell too much in this moment.
All right, let's see here from. I lost my place. I think Just Rex. Yeah, Just Rex. Where is Phantom Blade Zero? Weird that it wasn't at SGF or the PlayStation Showcase. It looks rad. P-News. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Those games aren't going to show up at every single event unless they really are getting ready to come out imminently. Maybe that's something that pops up again later this year and then launches early next year or something like that. I don't know. It probably is just a little bit further off than we think.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, there's a few games that was strange that they were missing. I think Fable was among them on my list. But yeah, I'm sure this game's not dead or something, or even maybe facing significant issues. It just may have missed one.
All right. From Drew Bus. If Switch 2 underperforms this generation, I'm sorry, I tried to scroll down and YouTube freaked out because it is terrible. If Switch 2 underperforms this generation, do you see Nintendo having a crack at VR for their next console or in the next 10 years? Oh, and penis. No.
No, they might. I mean, they would maybe try something else. I don't think VR is it. I just think we are really seeing limits to the accessibility of VR. It's a lot of people who are like big VR fans or developers almost like to ignore this. VR makes a lot of people sick.
Yep.
It just does, and we just don't actually have a great solution for that.
Yep. And mixed reality will probably solve some of those issues, but it's just a very different thing. And you kind of don't want to do mixed reality unless you're using just glasses, and glasses aren't powerful enough. And then those are going to be expensive. So then we're talking about limited appeal. I don't know. Nintendo will have some gimmick of its
They're going to do a Labo 2.
They're going to do
a Labo 2 and they put it in front. There you go.
Jack Sleep says Crunchyroll is not supported. Read somewhere that Nintendo doesn't want streaming video on Switch 2, but is there an official statement? I saw an official statement from Google, I think, about YouTube, where they said they are going to update the app to run on Switch 2. So I don't know if there's some blanket ban or even a discouragement from Nintendo to stop these things from getting updated on Switch 2. But I don't care. I kind of don't want these things on Switch 2. I just wanted to play video games, but I know, like, my kids use YouTube on Switch pretty frequently, and I actually hated that. I was like, because it's not super easy to like limit use case on Switch by app or by specific game, or at least I didn't see it when I was looking, and so I'm kind of just like, don't want these things on there at all. But that's just me, Mike. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I feel the same. I've never used the video app on the Switch one. If I'm on the go, I need to watch video. I got my phone. If I want to watch something on my TV, I got a million other ways of doing that.
All right. From Willow Davis. I missed the world when it still had Switch 1 in it. Yeah. What's the fate of your Switch 1?
I just today, because it was plugged in when I left because I was doing the transfer. So it was kind of this solemn thing. Like, I took it off. I took it out of sleep mode. Then I turned it off, like turned it off, put it in its case. Sleep now, sweet prince. Put it down, and I'm like, boy, I don't know when I'm turning this thing on again. That might be it. Like, I'm probably gonna like go downstairs and like put it somewhere safe, and yeah, that's kind of it for it. Because the Switch 2 does just have all that stuff. There's really, as far as I can tell, zero reason I have to go back to it. It is kind of sad, right? Because that was one of the great things about those old generations. Like, even when I had my Super Nintendo and it was new, or even 4 years in the Super Nintendo, I would still play the NES sometimes because there was a reason to do that. And it's why nostalgia developed so fast for those old systems back then. Yeah. Right? But yeah, it's just, that's why there is no Xbox One nostalgia, even though that is such a relatively old console at this point, because it's just, that stuff has just been continuous. And this is one of the biggest cases of that. I can't really think of any reason to go back to Switch 1.
What if you do nasty shit to your Switch and you get to play like old video games?
I could just do that on anything now. It doesn't have
That's
to
right.
be.
Yeah,
that's true. Actually,
right?
Yeah.
It's way easier and cheaper to do it on anything but my Switch.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Steam Deck turn that into a Switch 1, and then you're in business. I'm still good. My Switch will still be in circulation because of the girls. That'll be a good way for them to play Minecraft or whatever. And Emmy's has laid claim to the Switch Lite, so Addie can use the Switch 1 a lot. But I did see like Kyle Hilliard was like, I put it in my display case next to all my other old consoles, and I do not know when I will turn this thing back on again. It's like, yeah, probably never. Like, seriously, you might never need to turn that thing on again unless one day you get the bug up your butt about playing Labo. You're like, oh, well, I'm going to go build Labo, and you can't do that on Switch 2 or whatever.
Yeah,
because
Labo
the Joy-Cons
Ring
are
Fit Adventure, I guess. And I bet there's going to be a Ring Fit Adventure 2 very soon.
Yes. And who knows how well that one sells outside of the pandemic, but I guarantee they'll do another one because the first one sold so well. All right, so let's see. Chrono Rig. I usually don't care, but if next year's 10th gen Pokemon game doesn't look like they upped the budget like that multi-plat game I will get annoyed. Lol. Yeah, I don't think you'll be alone on that.
It's like, and I want to say that they know and they gotta work on it.
Just
like Scarlet and Violet still sold really well.
I know,
right?
but just up the budget a little bit in terms of like what's on the screen. You don't have to. It doesn't have to be exactly like that Xbox game. Whatever. It just needs to look like you did more to it than what happened with Scarlet and Violet.
It just has to look better than literally a Nintendo 64 game. Scarlet and Violet was so
barren.
rough.
It's
bare. It is like one of the few times I've actually got upset about a game's just graphical fidelity. That's not usually my alley.
Yep.
And I even get a little indignant that they did get away with it. Right. It's nice that they updated it now. But boy, did they just get away with that. And then people are like, it plays great. I know, that's fine. But there is a point where graphics matter a bit. They don't matter the most, but they matter a bit.
Yeah, I don't know. If it looks like as good as Breath of the Wild did when it first came out on Switch 1, I think that would be fine. I think that I would accept that. Sterling Joe. Wait, nope, sorry, Burrito. Hi, Mike. This is belated, but you crushed last week's Merch Minute with Mitch, especially your advertising of mugs. I've been laughing at you could put coffee in a solo cup all week. That's pretty good shit.
Oh, the mugs are still haunting me. I'm still having, we still don't know what to do about it. If you have an order held up because of that mug you bought, I am sorry. I'm still working on it. The store.
I just can't. Store. I can't wait to stealth put a mug on the store, and you have to deal with that. And
now I'm waiting because even sold out of apparently they're out of the pink version of the Mars on Mitch tote bag, and I'm like, what do you want to do? I'm like, well, I want to get more pink ones to give to people because that's kind of the main color for that. So I knew there'd be there's of course there's gonna be
shit. I didn't buy one before.
Well, I'm gonna try to get more. So
okay, all right. Well, let me know when you do, and I'll make an order.
I'm just waiting to hear back from them.
I want that tote bag real bad. Sterling Jones, Tom Warren, and others have complained about the Switch 2 Wi-Fi performance, and I had a similar experience. Seems to vary from router to router. Other than that, I love the console and can't wait for DK. Yeah, I wonder if that's the kind of stuff that gets improved through updates. I think they might have already improved HDR on televisions, because since I was in LA and tried to set it up on the TV there and the Airbnb, it was broken. Then I came home and tried to set it up on my TV, and it worked pretty well. Maybe it wasn't perfect, but it was way better than it was when I tried to set it up there. I wonder if they could just improve some signal handling or whatever to get some better Wi-Fi connection. But yeah, that's annoying, especially coming from a Steam Deck OLED that has a really good Wi-Fi 6E receiver in it, and that thing is super fast. Although, personally, I will be putting the Switch 2 in the dock to download any big game, and that will be wired into the internet. So whatever. All right. Totodial 000. Please tell me I'm not the only one that has hands that hurt after using the Switch 2 Pro controller. I don't know. I think I like it. But let me spend some more time with it and see. It's not hurting my hands.
I haven't had any problems yet. I haven't had any problems yet, but I'm also I don't know. There's a lot of people swear that the PS5 controller hurts their hands, and I believe them, but I don't know. My hands are durable, I suppose.
Yeah, but it wasn't hurting my hands like that. That was like a dumb thing. When I hurt my hands with a DualSense controller, it's because I let the edge of it dig into the side of my nail long enough that it gave me a terrible, terrible, terrible hangnail.
Oh yeah.
Chris Pratt, hello Milton Manicotti and Jeff Grubhub. Enjoyed the weekend content, but what the heck, man? You were in town and I didn't get an invite? Oh shit, dude. I'm sorry, Chris Pratt. I just thought you were too big time. I know you love the show, but would you really want to hang out with us peasants?
I was reading some Reddit of Disney cast members, former and current. And one was who are the best celebrities and worst celebrity interactions you had there? And then someone was like, Chris Pratt was by far the worst.
Oh no.
And I just thought that was really funny.
He's great in our chat though. I'll tell you that.
He's great to us, but Chris, be nicer to those cast members. Come on.
Just Rex is back and says, Mike, those last two MVC games looked like poop from a butt. As Tam would say, grow up.
Okay, now wait. Yes, we don't. I was getting a little annoyed when I was upset when people were like, "Well, MVC 1 wasn't very good." I'm like, "Yeah, that was 8 years ago, everybody." Mm-hmm. I think we're in a different world now. I don't know if Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is a part of the concerns. Here, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, I agree. I don't like the way MVC3 looks, and I get yelled at for that. So I don't know. I think most people liked the way that game looked, but it played amazing anyway. So who cares?
You are right, Mike. That game looks like shit, and it doesn't play very well, to be honest. Like I'm an MVC2 guy.
You're not an MVC3 fan. I like MVC3. I always liked 2 more, but a lot of people do like 3 a lot, and it's sold really well.
The gameplay I like in MVC Infinite. I think the gameplay in MVC Infinite was way better than 3 and even 2.
Yeah, I maybe think 3 a little overrated. I think Infinite perhaps a little underrated. Trust me, I don't want to be a passionate Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite defender.
You know what I mean? You go ham.
But I don't know. I find it hard to believe that like in like if it was this year we had to make that decision. They're like, well, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite went poorly. Now, yeah, look at Capcom now. That's not really the Capcom you're dealing with.
All right, let's see here. Yokto Yoda says, I just beat, quote unquote, the welcome tour thing, and I'm okay with paying $10 for it. Yeah, it definitely should have been free, but I've paid more money for less of an experience. Good stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna see it through, but I kind of want to do most of it on stream. So we'll see how I feel after playing more of it.
Bing Hanson sent that super chat. You heard what Bing Hanson said?
No,
he loves the shit out of Welcome Tour. He's like,
you know why? Because he's a fucking sicko that loves just any sort of information and trivia, and it's all like you're like, and I do feel like I have to play that game because now anytime I bring up like how something works on the Switch 2, there's going to be people who've played that thing like waiting to correct you, and I don't want to have to deal with that. So great. Goddamn Ben Hansen. Jason Fulton said, for the record, walked into a Best Buy with a stream of other middle-aged guys without a pre-order, walked out with a Switch 2. Can't believe how great Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom look and play. Great work at SGF. Thank you, Jason. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. The purple's about to fall off your hair because Chris Pratt is back and said, tried out some of that Split Gay too. And oh, wow, this is gaming.
Oh, shit.
Their CEO rules too. Oh, man.
Oh, no. Oh no, Chris Sod. No.
Our Truth is back, and he's really back because now he's in our chats. Hey, Mike and Grubb, what's up? Got any tips for someone who got fired and then got saved by fan support? Yeah, man. No, you're doing better than even we are. All right.
Yeah, I think what you have to do is return and use your real name, Ron.
Shaggy Crow says, "Hey dogs, I pulled out my Smash 4 GameCube controller port, and it works on the Switch too. I'm ready for Melee to come to online." Thank you.
That's good. Oh,
I'd be waiting.
God, I want them to add Melee to that, but it's not one of the games they've announced is coming yet. We haven't had Smash 64 yet. Even it feels like it's still a ways off, and I wish it wasn't. It's still the best GameCube game. God, I love Super Smash Bros. Melee.
I almost think we'll get Brawl before we get Melee.
What's your problem with Double Dash, you son of a bitch?
You fucking weirdo! What the fuck was that? I heard that.
Jeff is terrible. Jeff is such a nice person that he'll be like, oh yeah, I like cheese. And somebody he's doing a podcast with like cheese sucks. He's like, yeah, cheese does kind of suck.
I went back to Double Dash and it doesn't play as well as the modern Mario Kart games. And I think I was like, this was never good. I think that's what happened there. It's like when you go back to it, it does not feel as fun to play now as it did then, and I don't remember much of it back then. I played a ton of it, but it's Mario Kart DS 7, 8. That's when like Mario Kart really got great.
But there's two people on the cart.
There are 2 things, and they swap places, and that's really cool. You know what? I like the way that looks, and I like the way the characters lean and stuff like that. But it's just not a fun game to play. Symbiosis is calling me out here. Season 2, Jeff was thinking about Andor again. Look, just leave me alone. The Bulletproof Moon says, been daydreaming about the future of Zelda with my homie and came up with Breath of the Wild with RTS controls for a monster army and even make people-based objects like bridges and human pyramids for the gimmick. Love you guys. Pelvis. Yeah.
I sure am curious what the next Zelda looks like, right? Because, they can't do another Tears of the Kingdom. They can still have a lot of that kind of stuff, but it's going to probably be a good bit different. It's not going to have as much connecting tissue as Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom had.
I think they will try some stuff, but I really don't know what to expect. Last super chat here from Chucktowski, who I've met in person now. IT ran the numbers. It looks like 14 mug order problems. I call fuddy-duddyism. Oh, you're getting called out, actually.
14. Try 40. Chuck, 14.
I trust IT. Look, they're better at counting.
I made a night on my list. I could show you my list.
No, I'm good.
I have a document.
That's it. That feels like Merch Master eyes only. I don't need to look at that.
Chuck Toski ran the numbers. Where's my mug thing? Mug refunds. There's my my sheet. Oh yeah, I have 39 in here right now. I was able to refund only a handful of them. The other ones have a bug that say order in progress because the one back end is not talking to the other back end. The back ends aren't communicating with each other. Yeah, we got ass-to-ass shop problems here. It's because of the fucking mugs.
All right, well, that does it for the Super Chats. Back over to you, Mike.
All right, great. We're going to take one more break. We got a little bit of Mailbag.
Listen, everybody. If we can get a mug back on the store, especially without Mike knowing, you guys just got to rush and buy as many as possible. He'll be so mad. It'll be so funny. It'll be so funny.
Don't complain to me when they break. Don't complain to me when they break. Actually, that's literally, you're supposed to complain to me.
Yeah, he's the one you complain to. That's the beautiful thing here.
I hate mugs.
Do a metal mug, says Snack Dad. No way.
That sounds expensive. What are the margins on that?
No idea.
All right, we'll be right back, everybody.
Yeah, store.giantbob.com.
All right.
Cool. Phil, Phil, there's going to be another thermos. Don't worry, there will be another thermos.
Yeah. I got my thermos stole.
Should do wine glasses. Yeah, like champagne flutes. Yeah, it's a good show. It's a good show. Let me see if I can find this cat. Entertain the people, Christian.
Hi, what's up? I'm talking. There's nobody here. I'm alone. Floating in space. They tell me to entertain. Entertaining. This is entertaining. I am entertaining. I don't know. I can't believe Mike doesn't. He's just not hyped for another. Well, he says I like Arceus game, but he doesn't really like Arceus game. Just like 44. I love it. This 44. I think I'm scared of how many buttons I'm gonna need on my controller to control that stuff. You know. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, here's come the kitty. Come my baby. It's a baby kitty. It's a tiny kitty. Look at it. Oh my god, that's so cute.
So she was living in the bathroom down here for a few days, and she just got out the day I got home. And I hadn't had time to like clean up my office or anything, and there was a really, really, really old mouse trap from that time. There was a mouse in my basement like a year and a half ago. That it's a sticky trap, and she found it right away and got it stuck to her back foot, and her tail and her back foot were glued together. We had to like hold her down and kind of cut it out, and she was so good about it. But I think she's kind of scared of being over here now because of that, and I don't blame her, because it was like she was hiding, and I was like trying to call her, and then Steph had to come down and call her, and she came running down when she heard her voice, and you just hear the slap, slap, slap of the little mouse trap being stuck to her foot, and it was like, oh, that's so sad. But she is no worse for wear, and she's doing good now. You want to just hang out over here, or you want to just go back?
So much energy.
Yeah, I think she's getting sleepy.
I know.
But I think she likes sleeping.
Unhitch me, human.
Yeah. There you go.
She. Oh yeah, I do turn a little bit of monster whenever I see a baby.
Oh yeah.
She a baby.
She a
It's a baby. Yeah,
That's just a baby.
Whoa. It's a baby. Yeah. Talk more shit. I'm not talking shit about MVC3.
It is.
I love MVC3.
It is kind of nice to talk some mild shit about MVC3 without Sean yelling at me. He's a big fan.
Just be careful, you'll summon him.
You know, the thing is, that's difference. Like, I play these games a lot. Like, a lot. I play thousands of hours in these video games. So I have feelings about them. You know, so I'm not like saying it's like, oh, I should look. I get tired after seeing, like, I'm kind of tired of Street Fighter. You know, I have 1,000 hours in that game, you know? That's why I'm asking. You
know what the weirdest thing about Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is? A game with some of the biggest names in Capcom and Marvel in it. You know who the most prominent character is on that game's cover art?
Who?
Hawkeye.
Oh yeah, you're right. He is like right in the middle.
Hawkeye, front and center.
She saw her reflection in the mini fridge over here, and she's sniffing at it.
Oh. Oh yeah, that's good. That's
Oh,
good
shit.
stuff.
Oh, it's
Just
just
an
you.
update.
Don't worry. Our chat wants me to tell you you're fuzzy.
Chat with me.
Okay, all right, I'm back.
You're right. He's right in the fucking middle.
Right?
That's right.
Why is Hawkeye the cover star of Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3?
They're just going back to Hawkeye and the Avengers or whatever it was fucking called. Captain America and the Avengers.
It's called Captain America.
Well, I played as Hawkeye. All right, motherfucker.
I played as Iron Man.
Okay.
None of us were cool enough to play as Vision.
No, we didn't know.
Boy, that's the only thing I ever saw Vision in. I saw him in that, and he had a bit part in a Deadpool comic I read once, and then all of a sudden he was in those movies.
Yeah, God, man, Vision.
That's all I knew about him. All right.
I'm ready.
Let me get the document with the. Yeah, I'm ready. There's a bunch here. We might not even be doing all of these because we're going. Well, we'll see. We're going long, but
Yeah, that's right.
We don't really. We don't have to have a what we've been playing section. We already did that. So
that's right.
Yeah, we don't need that.
Okay, so if we don't get any more super chats, it might even be the last segment. We'll see.
Okay, sounds good.
We do need a break. We need
a break
after that. Yeah.
I'll give you a break.
This is a
Give
long
you the
one.
biggest break you've ever seen across your femur.
Okay, Chan was saying that he wasn't on NBC, OG NBC. That's why UNBC he was in the middle.
There had to be a more exciting brand new character in that game than Hawkeye.
It's just how they are.
Even Phoenix Wright was new. Do that. Wasn't like.
That's right.
Okay. Now I'm gonna find out. Now I'm sorry. Now I'm obsessed. Who were the new characters in Ultimate Marvel? Doctor Strange. Rocket Raccoon was still kind of a nobody then, so I get that.
When did Avengers come out? Did Avengers come out before MVC3?
This is 2011.
No.
So
it would have been like right around that time.
Avengers.
Yeah. Oh,
So
the
that's
Avengers
like
the
a
year
little
after this.
Oh,
so this
after?
is even before the Avengers.
Wow.
and
Okay,
this
that's
Hawkeye.
weird then. Well, was he?
Maybe you should have done Ghost Rider.
I guess he was
as
in. He was in Thor. I guess at that point. So maybe they're like.
It was 2010.
Yeah.
Should have been Phoenix Wright.
Well, clearly.
Yeah, but like Marvel was hot as fuck.
No, I get it.
So
I guess I'm just a little surprised. I mean, they could have done some other. They could have done some other new characters. I mean, Doctor Strange even well before his MCU debut. Ghost Rider still doesn't really matter in the MCU if he is in there. I don't even know. They had those weird occasions. Anyways, let's get back to the show.
Yeah, they should do.
All right, we're back. Jeff, hurry up and go attack a middleman so we can get to these. Okay, you're scaring your cat. You're scaring your cat.
No, I probably am, actually.
No, it's all good. Thank you so much. All right. Badger says, y'all did a great job for your first indie GB at night. Both Jeff shooting Dan in the face with a confetti cannon and Mike McNally shouting at Dan to stop touching the bag of Doritos with meat hands will live rent-free in my head for a long time. Don't worry, everybody. I threw that bag away. Thanks for all the content, you kings. Also, by the time you read this, it will be tomorrow, my time, my birthday. So happy birthday to me. Happy birthday, Badger.
Happy birthday, Badger.
Perry Tool says, do you see the need for a future Switch 2 with an OLED screen? Is the current one good enough? Also, I want you to answer the question in everyone's mind. Is the Switch 2 capable of running Mind's Eye? It looks like PCs aren't capable of running Mind's Eye from what I've been seeing online, so no. Love you guys. Great job with SGF. You're proof that games media isn't dead. Love from Portugal. You're always welcome here. Thank you so much, Periel, too. I appreciate that. I mean, gosh, Jeff, I guess things could change, but I'm not seeing much of a need for an OLED will look a little bit better. But if you're gonna ask me to pay $600 for a Switch 2 upgrade, I'm gonna need more than that.
Yeah, God, I had some theory about what the first upgrade would be, and it wasn't just OLED. But now I can't remember any of those thoughts. So that's just being 42 years old. They'll come up with some gimmicks. I mean, clearly an improved battery will be a big part of it.
Sure.
But yeah, will they do a light? I think the light is very likely because of Pokemon games.
Although I will say I really like these Joy-Cons. Right?
Yeah,
like
they're really nice.
They're so I don't know.
Yep, I don't either. We'll see. I if they put out an OLED, I will buy it.
Benji Buff says, what would you like to see updated / modified in Mario Kart World going forward? My top 3 are nerf shell frequency, yes. Spread more costume and love equally, yes. And add more points of interest in between the major tracks. Yeah, I think all of that is true, especially the costume stuff. Like, give some of the other gimmicks for costumes. Some characters only have a couple costumes. There should be just a lot more costumes. They are fun. Let's get more of them. I do want to be able to do Grand Prix with these tracks where we do just race on the track, not the in-between stuff. The in-between stuff is neat. I like doing that, but give me the option there. Otherwise, I'm not sure what else I would love to see more stuff happen in the open world. I love it so that when you see these characters, you can race them, right? Things like that happening, or you chase them down. So yeah, I just like to see that expanded.
Yep. Populate the open world with billboards I can drive through. Make it faster. Make it so maybe even I can upgrade my cart so it goes faster, so I could try to set better times on certain roads, like high speed challenges. Make it Burnout Paradise. Just actually make it Burnout Paradise.
Mitchy Poo says, thank you, Giant Bomb and Giant Bomb friends, excuse me, for bringing awareness and showing solidarity during GP at night in the wake of what's happening in our communities. It means a lot to me, my family, and heritage. Thanks for covering the games. Enjoy the launch of the next-gen Switch, and I can't wait to finally get my hands on a handheld PC. Thank you very much, Mitchy Poo.
Yeah, fuck ice.
Yep, fuck ice. And shouts out to anyone that's going out to a protest this weekend. Definitely look up all the best practices. Keep yourself safe. Probably leave your phone at home. Cover your face. Really take care of yourself. It's serious shit out there. This ain't your old protest. So be careful.
Velocity Prime 1 says, howling forever with the dogs because of the PlayStation 5 Xbox Series X launch during the pandemic and the questions surrounding the Switch 1 launch. The Switch 2 launch feels like the first real proper console birth since the PlayStation 4 Xbox One. I, for one, felt the buzz. How does this launch feel for you guys in the modern context? Exciting, nonchalant, disappointing, or some other emotion? That was definitely exciting. The only thing that hampered it was it bumping against SGF and so much of my mind space kind of being occupied with that instead. But otherwise, it was a ton of fun. It was exciting, and I am happy with the console.
Yeah, I think exciting is the biggest bucket. I got a little bit in each one of those. Exciting, nonchalant, disappointing. There's a little something in each one of those, but clearly exciting is the biggest bucket for me, and that's I'm really happy with it. It does feel like a brand new generation, and I'm just glad so many games run even better than ever. It really does feel like the Switch idea is coming into its own.
Mike O'Reilly says, my midnight release Switch 2 broke. People thought I was crazy for procuring 4 of them. Shaking my head. 2 are for friends. I'm not that crazy. There you go. You're set then. I wonder how it broke. There's always going to be some level of potential failure in these things.
Yeah.
So.
The ones that they were scratched in the front because people were
the staples,
yeah.
Staple one.
Just do a. Oh wait, make sure I'm not gonna dox myself. Yeah, just put a sticker on there like Best Buy did. Here's my other one. Mike, you got a second one as well. What are you gonna do with that? Gonna give it to a friend?
I have a friend in New York who's paying for it, so I could actually probably send it out tomorrow.
I need to Google it and double check the laws on this stuff. But if it's easy, I'll just give this away to someone on the channel. It'll be like a subscriber drive thing. Hey, if you subscribe to Game Mess, you get the Switch 2. If I'll pick from a random person,
can
you
I
have
participate?
Fuck you.
No.
Absolutely not.
That's nice of you, Jeff.
Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. But let me double check and see what giveaway rules are, because maybe that could get touchy.
Jedi Moss 4 says, my problem with the reaction to calling Switch 2 a Switch Pro isn't that the current PlayStation Xbox also are with their last gen consoles. Isn't the PS5 ultimately just a PlayStation 4 but better? Why are those next gen but going from Switch to Switch 2 isn't? It's because these are all just words that we're making up, right? That's They both are and they both aren't. So that's why I find it kind of a meaningless thing beyond being a somewhat, interesting talking point or a hot talking point right away. It's a new console.
Yep. Yeah. The only thing that matters is the games at this point, and I just think all of these consoles emphasize that at this point. So, yeah, they're you're right. These are all just made up words, and we're all just trying to figure out how we actually feel about these things. So, yeah.
Maybe these mid-gen refreshes. It's not like we've had very many of those.
Yeah.
Really, in terms of the ones with improved hardware, noticeably improved hardware.
We've had more on the handheld side. Yeah, I guess significantly
more on the
improved.
Handheld.
Yeah.
Sludge Reinhold says, hello, my dogs. Have you heard of the Life Fitness Extertainment System? My partner works for exercise equipment company Life Fitness and recently learned that in the 90s, they collaborated with Nintendo to make an exercise bike integrated with an SNES,
Whoa.
custom controllers, and even bespoke games. I had to see some of the hardware in a PCBs for one of the games. They just had it hang out in a closet. It's kind of wild and covers some pieces of weird Nintendo history I never heard of before. Man, it sounds like something there should be a long YouTube video on. Like I just watched, I forget who it was who did a really good video about the Satellaview and what that actually was like, and it was just really interesting. And now I want to learn more about the Life Fitness. It is Exertainment system, not entertainment. Exertainment. Man,
Sludge, reach out to me with this stuff. Maybe I'm curious. I'd like to take a look at it and see if I could actually do something about it.
Yeah, that sounds wild. It is in Epcot back in the day in the Wonders of Life, which was like their health and fitness themed pavilion. They had a bunch of exercise bikes, which like the video screens and like when you pedal, the video moved, and like one of them like had you go through Disneyland. I thought that was some really cool stuff back then.
That's cool. I just found a 1-minute video of someone using the Exertainment device.
Next up is Achar Wolf says, "Hey dogs, am I the one disappointed in Persona 4 Revival? For one, I really can't get excited for anything Persona because I waited so long for even an announcement of Persona 6, reaching 10 years since Persona 5.
That's
also,
wild.
really didn't like how Persona 4 Revival looked, as it had real Atlas higher this man energy and seems to still be a long way. My being a mic about this boys out there. There's no way my brain is actually being associated with being like a downer. I know I get fuddy-duddy, Mike. I'm one of the most excitable, happy people in the world.
You're being kind of a fuddy-duddy about this right now.
Damn it, all right.
Yeah.
Your fuddy-duddiness is just also very on another level. So yeah,
You know
It
what?
is.
You know what annoyed me about your take, Mike? That you said like, I wish they called it something TV related. When Revival is a TV thing, it's not a.
Yeah, people pointed that out to me. I guess, yeah, there are TV. I mean, there's Broadway revivals too. Revival is a very broad term. Yes, there are TV revivals, but it's not as TV as rerun or rewind, right? I mean, yeah, it's fine. That's not a big deal. But I've seen a lot of other people say that, like, yeah, that trailer was not much and it didn't look that good. And yeah, they're kind of right. But I also think this game is just probably pretty early in development, and it'll end up looking. It's not. It'd be weird if it did look worse than Persona 3 Reload. Like, why?
Yeah, how could that happen?
Would that happen?
Yeah, that would be weird. I don't like the third-person camera while running around. I'm a fan of the fixed cameras. They had it in Reload. I don't know what they changed it now.
Persona 6. We're gonna get that when we get that.
It's been 10 years since 5. That's God. This franchise is so fucking weird.
Yeah,
I called it. They take 10 years between Personas.
I remember the wait, because like we got 4 very quickly after 3, because that's PS2 was just a different time. And I remember then the wait for Persona 5 felt like it took forever. Games just keep getting longer to make. And, the team, they made a Metaphor Refantasio, right?
Yeah.
That's why. And
That's right.
That was a very good game, so it's fine. Screaming Matt says, "Hello, Mike, Dan's food safety advisor, Minotti, and Jeff, Pikachu, Twinkie, throwing champ, Grubb. Curious, what do you think your favorite costumes you've unlocked in Mario Kart World are?"
I can't legally answer that.
I don't have to answer your question.
God, we're both such perverts. I think Peach's like cute little outfit where she's got her shirt tucked into her pants and stuff like that is really, really adorable. I like it a lot.
Yes. I like.
You like Daisy's bikini?
No. First off, it's not bikinis. It's like swim shorts with the top, and I think I like her genie one even more, whatever it's called. I Dream of Daisy. I think I like that one even more.
Steph was like, Mike was like really upset with Dan making those burgers, right? Like she thought you were like so actually mad at him. And you probably were, honestly. He was doing a horrifying job. But she's like, no, Dan, like Mike seemed actually upset.
Oh, like what's actually,
I
don't want to say like, oh, I turn it up. But yeah, when you're on camera, things just naturally get amplified. Like what? I mean,
to work.
Listen, to be clear.
I was upset about anything. It was the way he crumbled the meat, so it made a giant mess that he then was very slow to clean.
Yes, I was. Yes, and I was right there watching that happen too, and I was upset. And my family watching at home, they were upset with all of this, and they're so upset that they got mad at me for taking a bite of the thing. So yeah, like no one was happy about that.
I'll tell you what actually got me upset was after all that, my like one real job was taking the temperature and making sure it was at a safe temperature to eat, right? Not cooking it to what I thought was the ideal temperature, perfect. Just to a point was like, okay, Dan, you can serve this now if you want to. And And when somebody was like, "Oh, this thing was raw in the middle," then I was like, "It was pink in the middle." Yeah, burgers can be pink.
Yep.
That's fine.
Yep.
Still edible.
Yeah, I zero complaints about that. I knew that
People told me you complained. People lied to me.
Oh, there's no way I did.
recommended, though.
I did not. No way. That was not
It
me.
was Dan who told me that. I think Dan probably played up everybody's reaction.
Motherfucker.
Because Dan just came out and said, everybody said the burgers were great except for their the temperature, Mike. They said they looked raw.
Oh, Dan Reichert said that.
Yeah, you know what else sucked? It's that stupid big one he made. Because at first he was making them huge, and we did to tell him then to not do that, because then the segment wouldn't be done.
Dan was like multiple times, like, I'm gonna go cut this thing off. Yeah.
Yeah, so then I cut that one in half. It's like, I'll eat half of this thing for him. So yeah, I get my half. I eat it. It sucks.
I should have shot him with multiple confetti poppers. Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm like, here's your half. He's like, I don't want that. I have pizza, which he was eating with his raw meat hands. He should have gotten sick. He deserved to get sick.
He deserved it for sure, without a doubt.
I know I know you're saying that it was safe, but I still wouldn't serve it to like the guest. Like, I'm okay with you stuff.
No, it was safe. Period.
Yeah,
like there was nothing risky about it at all from a food safety perspective, other than the fact that it tasted horrible. It tasted bad.
Yeah, it didn't taste good, but nobody's gonna get sick from it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Yes, I'm reading these. Next one is from Screaming Madden. No, I did that one. Next one's from Nintendo. It looks like the new James Bond game is going to be following the books a lot closer than the movies. The scar on Bond's face to the origin story. It's clear how much the books seem to matter in this game. Have you read any of the original James Bond books?
No, but
No.
Does that mean this is the James Bond equivalent of the GameCube The Hobbit game? Is that what we're getting here?
Yeah, except people read The Hobbit. Is there a lot of people reading the James Bond
I think in England, where it's like, oh man, we used to have an empire. Let's go read a book about it. Like, yeah.
I have to just say, James Bond is not one of the things where I hear, well, actually, the books are better.
Yes, that is a movie franchise to me.
But, it's an interesting direction to take it in. I mean, I was joking on the Bombcast when I said, I don't know how I feel about James Bond being younger than me. That's not a qualifier in the game.
I've heard multiple people say that they're like weirded out by the way the character looks.
But it's not even that. For me, it's not that. I don't think it's like the wrong criticism. It's just like, oh, I live in a world where James Bond can be younger than me.
Okay, yeah, they're right.
I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying it makes me feel weird. But it's not a fault of James Bond.
You are right. Shit, I didn't think about that. The next James Bond movie actor is 100% going to be younger than me. That actually fucking
that's
sucks.
going to actually also happen there.
I hate
when
that.
They cast the new James Bond character, he's not going to be 40.
Yeah, I'm like, every day I'm like so relieved that LeBron James is still playing basketball. So there's someone like right around my age that's basically one of the best basketball players. Because when that stops being a thing, that entire league is going to be like 5 years younger than me or more.
Always Be Cooling says, what's the best meal you had in LA? Oh, right. Nintendo podcast. Favorite Mario Kart character to use? Oh, yeah. Daisy. Honestly, like, gosh, it's like this with a lot of trips. It's a lot of burgers and pizzas, just trying to eat stuff
that
fast.
Oppa ramen place was really good. I really liked
nice ramen place at the end.
I got some pork belly noodles with a good amount of spice, and it really hit the spot. That was very good. Shout out to,
I got like a
Tatum
steak and
from Digital Extremes that hung out with us.
Got like a steak and egg ramen bowl that was good, but the best thing, they had like a popcorn chicken fried rice. That was really good.
Fried rice is good.
Bikes and Bruce says, is it a good thing that Jeff Gerstmann now knows who Mitch Minolta is, given Jeff's animus towards Disney adults?
He was really nice.
Yeah, what if he hurts me?
As soon as the segment was over, he was like very nice, and he was like talking to you about Disney and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, he's actually immediately talking about how he enjoys it with his family.
Yeah, it was great.
So, it was funny because, like, Dan told that story where he didn't know where I was, and I thought maybe that was still the situation. But I actually saw him just a bit before that at Playdates because I was there a little bit that day and talked to him, and yeah, it was very nice.
Yeah, and I was glad they were yelling at you because I had just spent 2 days at Disney by myself, so I'm glad that didn't get brought up.
Everyone glossed over that part, but
I was happy about it.
Whatever. Lenny Cool Dick Denver says, great job at SGF this year. Also, did you notice how Dan used the mic excuse for losing the Who's Weirder poll by saying that the chat just wants to see him lose. That is Mike's. Why does it Dan accept that he's weirder? Why doesn't Mike accept he's bad at drafting video games? Was it? I think it was the PlayStation N64 draft that really killed me.
There was one where you broke. Yeah, I can't remember what it was, but you broke.
Yeah, I was like, "There's no way I lose this. This is bullshit."
Yeah.
Although I am realizing just how the Nintendo for their audience is more than ever. It's like when I'm like, "Oh, I'm going to do a top 20 list for console," I decided to start doing separate ones that don't include Nintendo consoles because the Nintendo one will just always win.
Yeah, that's partially our audience, but that's also partially just like
video games,
retro video game audiences. Yeah,
it makes sense. Let's see here now. Willow Davis. Hey, pups. When I turned on my Switch 2, I couldn't believe it wasn't OLED with those crazy vibrant reds. Anyway, my Mario Kart World Switch 2 cartridge still tastes bad. Would have thought they'd make it taste good by now.
Nintendo just can't figure out the technology of good tasting cards.
Like a Dylan says, well, now that the Switch 2 is finally here, I guess it's time to ask the real questions. Switch 3 when? Hey, you think it's just another clean eight years for Switch 3?
Probably. Addie today was like, I can't wait for the Switch 3. I'm like, what the hell? Or maybe it was Emmy. One of them was like that. I'm like, you need to shut your mouth.
You're going to be like graduating high school.
Yeah. Oh, that's insane, but you're 100% right. That's insane.
let's not think about that.
Yeah, please,
actually.
God, no.
Dennis B. Price says, hey, my dogs, this might be a bit long, but I want to give you guys a belated congratulations on going indie with Giant Bomb. I also want to thank you guys. I had to call an ambulance for my mom on Monday. She had serious gut problems. I had to stay overnight for 4 days, including over my birthday on May 27th. It was so hard to see her in so much pain, but you guys with the content either here or on Giant Bomb always kept my spirits up as she slowly got better, even making me laugh when I needed it the most during this tumultuous time for me and my family. So again, thanks for all you guys do, and have a good Summer Game Fest. Even better GB at night if you're reading this before anyways. P. Ness. Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you,
glad
Dennis.
Your mom is feeling better. Hope her health continues to improve, and happy belated birthday to you.
Yep. Sorry you had to deal with that, and just thanks for all the kind words. And yeah, really glad we get to do all this stuff at Giant Bomb and at Game Mess, and kind of just make stuff that where people want to come out and hang out, and then they get a chance to listen, and we can keep them company when they're dealing with stuff. Yeah, as a reminder that, like, you know, we're going to keep doing both. But if you are trying to see us do fun stuff together, always make sure you guys keep an eye over there on Giant Bomb. Go to giantbomb.com/join. I know I was, I mentioned this on the Patreon for Game Mess, but I wanted to say it here. I know a lot of people rushed over here to support us because they're like, oh, maybe they'll do some fun stuff together with all of the boys on Game Mess. Well, that's what you came here to support us for. You should go over to Giant Bomb, and not that I'm hating the support here, but if you like what we do, what me and Mike do here in the evenings, where we get together, we hang out, we do some fun stuff, and we're going to do a few extra things for sure. I'm still trying to get some stuff together, some fun ideas, things along the lines of Jeopardy, if not, Jeopardy itself. We're going to be doing a lot more of that as well. But yeah, like I just wanted to thank everybody for the support. It was very meaningful and very helpful, and helped me get through a weird patch where things could have gone really bad for me. So thank you, everybody. But Giant Bomb is where we're going to be focusing on that stuff. And then over here, it's going to be me and Mike doing our thing in the evenings. So thanks, everybody. And thank you, Dennis, for that very kind message.
I know some stuff was kind of on hold a little bit with everything happening. We'll get back soon with the game club, with Columbros, and, so we'll have a community. Was there already a community Mario Kart night this weekend while we were away?
Yeah, I don't know. There was? Well, we're gonna.
Yeah, there was. Yeah.
We'll start hanging out with those now that me and Mike are gonna have a little bit more time now that SGF is over. So, yeah, keep that stuff going. I really love this community, really do. Thank you, everybody.
Yes, thank you so much, everyone. That's it for that. Why don't we take a break, Jeff? We'll get to the rest of these super chats. Close up shop here.
Sounds good.
All right,
we good.
Bring it back.
All right, we're back. Want to read the rest of the super chats, Jeff?
Yeah, let's see. I think we ended off with Chucktowski last time giving you shit, right? So let's go to Neldy. Hey, dogs, have you gotten into time trials on Mario Kart before? Nintendo has typically made that fun to friends to compete with friends' times. No, but we were talking about that earlier tonight. And I'm gonna give it a shot. That sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
Do friends like Ghost show up? You know what? We'll just try it out and see how it goes. But I like driving around in this game so much, and I like the looks of the levels so much, Mike, that you're right. That might be really fun to drive around without the other kart racers distracting you from that. So maybe we'll give it a shot.
Yeah, God, people. There's a part of me that would love to see if there was like an easier. Like, is there even a way you can play like Mario Kart multiplayer without items? Is even an option? Because I would love it if you preferred that actually, and then you didn't have ammo against me on the Smash Brothers thing anymore.
I think when I was looking at the online options, there was normal and frantic only as the options right now. But I know in 8 there was like a no items option, and maybe if we had like a private room, maybe there are more options. I didn't really look and see. Mario Kart needs the items, I think, but I would be willing to try and see like some pure racing. Let's see what it feels like. I don't know. Let's see. Dean Bowling is here with a nice super chat. No message though, but shouts out to Dean who hooked me up a little bit over the weekend, over the last week. I appreciate it. Meathead says, I'd give more, but I'm moving countries. Just wanted to throw some support out. Switch 2 is way better than I imagined it would be. Thank you, Meathead. No, any support is really welcome, and it's not even necessary.
Yeah, have a good move.
Yeah, have a good move, especially moving countries. Sounds like a very difficult thing. So shout outs to you, and I'm glad you're enjoying
I hope
the
you're
Switch
moving.
2.
Hope you're moving somewhere with a Disneyland.
And a functioning government. Bryce Mills says, Mike, put Final Fantasy 14 on Switch 2. I know you can. Yeah.
Yeah, do it, Mike.
Come on, Mike.
I still think they should. I think the one roadblock is the file size of that game, which is very big. But if you want to expand that audience, that's definitely probably the best way to do it right now. And they're going to need ways. I don't think they've had some tremendous drop off with Dawn Show, but I think their momentum finally slowed down after a very big, growth period following the success of Shadowbringers, simultaneously with the decline of WoW for a bit there, with people not liking Shadowlands. But then now WoW had a good expansion, and Final Fantasy 14 had a bit of a not like bad expansion, but below expectation expansion.
All right, Mike, we might have I might have some problems. I might have to talk to you about this next super chat. The Drum Kid 92 says, Mikey, thanks for the happy birthday cameo. You looked so cool. Love you and Jeff both. So happy to get support you in multiple places. Are you doing super chats as characters that I own 20% of?
No, cameos of
cameos, whatever.
Whoa.
Cameos.
Oh,
yeah.
All that time I was doing work for Giant Bomb while working at GameSpeed. You didn't mind that. Now all of a sudden you think I'm moonlighting here. Oh my! You owe 20%
20% of the cool Rascal Mike Minotti character. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's my cut, bitch?
You know what?
What is this, Jeff?
I was asked for Robo-Mitch, and I can't find that call. I think I have to order a new RoboCop costume.
Holy shit, that's amazing. Oh, that rules. That's a curse. Oh my God, that's a fucking curse.
Well, I don't know where it could have gone, but I cannot find it. So,
all right.
Jesus Christ.
That does it for the super chats. As you said, there's not much else to talk about for what we've been playing, right? I mean, I played a little bit more Mother 3 on my trip because I had the Game Boy thing with me, but then I got a Switch 2 and I was playing that.
Yeah, it's been a lot of Switch too. Not, I haven't even really done anything outside of that. I mean, besides from all the stuff I played, Shadow Labyrinth was the one demo I played at SGF that was running on a Switch 2. That's that Bandai Namco dark, edgy Pac-Man Metroidvania, and hey, I think that's really neat. Actually, that was super fun. Right, even just like the weird Pac-Man turns into a giant monster who eats the corpses of the enemies that you kill was a good time. They had some segments, kind of like Prince of Persia: Lost Crown, that were just like really tricky optional platforming segments with your grapple hook and other abilities, and I'm a big fan of that. So yeah, I am looking forward to Shadow Labyrinth. I enjoyed playing that one.
That's cool. I'm glad to hear that. That's pretty wild that game is interesting. I guess the only other thing I was playing was going to a theme park and going to Disneyland by myself, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I didn't talk to you too much about that. I'm so glad. I'm sorry I wasn't there, but I'm glad you're able to go to Trader Sam's finally, the Tiki Bar at the Disneyland Hotel.
There was definitely a couple things where it's like, oh, this legit would be better if Mike were here, or my family was here. And that was one of them for sure, but I really enjoyed it. I did not know what to expect. And so when I was getting sprayed with the water, it was actually very exciting. So I immediately ordered another one. Yeah, it was a good time. It was a good enough time that I went one day and then I had already had booked for the next day. I kind of just went on a whim on the first day, and I spent a lot of time doing that. I went right back and had even more fun. So yeah, that's a good time.
That's awesome. It definitely hurts being in LA and not getting any theme park stuff. And I try to convince myself I'd at least go to City Walk just to get a taste.
Zero
There
time.
was it was just wall to wall stuff.
You were especially busy. You were really very, very busy.
No, you were very busy as well. So it was all good. It was a good time. Glad we all got to hang out together. It was the best time I ever had at an Airbnb, despite how much I don't like them generally.
And you were a very big boy about it. Very no complaints whatsoever, not a single one. So that was very nice.
I slept fine on the pull-out bed. It was all right. So, well, maybe we'll return to that Warframe Villa. Who knows?
Who knows?
And hey, I did come in last, and that's just what happens when you come in last. You don't claim a bedroom. I get it. I know the rules of the road. It's okay.
Yeah, it worked out well.
All right, Jeff, then why don't we get out of here? We got the work just continues. I got to write some stuff up. Some embargoes coming alive.
I have to go through legal documents with a highlighter tonight still, so that'll be fine.
That's fine.
Yep.
I like the parts where my salary is nice.
Yeah, well, we're not even at that point yet still, so just hang in there.
Okay, I believe in you.
We're trying to gotta get on this. This is basically the last hump before we start worrying about that stuff. So we're almost there.
Good. Let's get some content done for Switch 2. Maybe we'll do some quick looks on some of this stuff.
And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to get the Steam Deck out and I'm going to install Clair Obscure on that. And I'm gonna like really playing that because I heard it got improved on there. So yeah.
Okay, good. Oh yeah, I finished that. I've just been thinking about that game ever since I finished it. I still want to do a spoiler cast really badly. Once Jan beats it, maybe I'll assemble a crew to talk about that one. Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Come cruising in 60 frames per second.
Like a plate of spaghetti or something.
They are going to come for Zelda.